Give me a hug. And I thought it said somewhere. I thought it had verbiage somewhere. It's got a label on the bottom, so that's cool. This is an asset, right? These figurines are from probably this one's probably like 1973. It's from the 70s, and they were very popular, which may keep the collecting price down. But they're collected, so it's got value, and I probably arbitraged it from Goodwill or something. Um, but that said, I think if you watched my video about my start in comic book publishing, um, I can point out that that's a lesson in what's called effective demand. I had identified demand, yeah, I really had, um, and but when I tried to monetize it, nope, couldn't. I could give them away. That's the point. I could give them away, and they were very popular. Um, my fellow students and stuff would, with bated breath, so to speak, wait for my next issue. But but yeah, that's if you're gonna start up and become a going concern, which is an accounting term. Um, my face again, darn it! Looking at myself. Okay, so act. Um, so there's a lot unsaid. So yeah, this is an asset. This is an example of what I'm talking about. We own assets, but we can have fun with it. Well, yeah, that occurred to me. That's a good example here. Um, so I own this. This is an asset of mine, and uh, I use it. I put them around my house and stuff. I use it. And this is a good example because in the example of like something like an ashtray or an old style lighter, if you use it, you're probably going to ruin the collector value in it. So you end up not wanting to the if you're familiar, the contrast between action figure collectors. You have some that the main thing is to get it mint in the box. And I've sold some of these things when I used to source at Wacky Willie's. You been to Wacky Willie's? It was a great place. I doubt it's around still, but great idea. Um, yeah. So asset management, it becomes wealth because being knowledge based, we know where we know all the journalistic stuff. Have you ever taken journalism class or anything? What are the six things? Well, how's one of them, but then the others are W's. So how, where, when, why, and what. Hey, I did it. So those, I'll say principles or paradigm, um, can be very powerful. And if you're going to be complete, you kind of want to at least assess if you've managed to get a healthy check mark on those or not. And that's what takes data into being information. And as a human having intelligence, you can take information into knowledge. That's how we do it. Uh huh. Uh huh. That's how we do it. So we'll have all kinds of databases and stuff, but that's okay. I can supervise the implementation of those. Um, so storage is going to be a main thing because assets can deteriorate, they can get damaged. Vermin, they like, well, I've had barns before. My brothers had barns. Uh, in fact, it was my brother that had a 53 acre, what had been a dairy farm like in the 40s, and then a commune like in the 70s. Um, it was 53 acres on the Snoqualmie River. Literally, he owned one side of a what I studied that in one of my classes, but I forgot what they're called. It's not an oxbow, but it's a you can take it for systems purposes, systems analysis. You can take it as a piece of the river that can be taken individually without having to look at the whole river. Or that is to say, a river like the Snoqualmie will have many of those. Anyhow, it's by Duval, which is north of Carnation. And what was more north than that? What was north from them? Um, I know there's a San Michelle winery up there. Woodinville? Yeah, Woodinville sounds right. Anyhow, he's the one that told me when I had my barn built that I don't know, something about I was going to have trouble with vermin, which I did, and I do. But but the other thing why I bring it up is that dirt will come in with the wind, and over the years it'll settle enough that it becomes dirt, becomes soil. It becomes something you have to scrape off, or it'll damage and wreck, whatever it is that you're storing there. So, and with comic books and books, you run into that an awful lot. The vermin or even silverfish. Silverfish is a big one that have eaten the book, whole corner of the book or something. Sometimes even eaten holes through it. So you've got a perfectly good collectible comic, but yeah, I've had some of those, but it's got like a hole that goes all the way through the comic book. So assets. Yeah. So storage is huge. If we can't lick the storage milestone, I don't think my ideas. I don't think this will work out. But we also need to know. We need to know where. And I guess in one of the videos I had brought up, for many years, our business was selling used books mainly, but using used books and CDs and such on like eBay and Amazon. And so yeah, we had I had to find some place to store 5,000 items that we could find them when we got orders. So fortunately, I got a minor in computer science, so that's come in handy sometimes, not even within a computing environment. One time I was working for the temps, the people that hired us, they I don't even insurance or something, but a lot of paperwork type thing. And they had a leased thing under the main part of where the office is, kind of a not really a basement, but kind of a basement. And they had maybe 100 of those white office boxes that you store uh, paperwork in from years past, stuff that's been archived. And it was just it was all willy nilly, I guess. And I was tasked with sorting them and making them in some kind of sensible order. And so, yeah, the computer science first and foremost is about algorithms. So I just use my algorithms for sorting, um, and applied it to these boxes, and I very rapidly finished the problem. I think it was still like a full day. They like locked me in there or something, but I thought that was fun. Anyhow, next video.